Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. It's been a while since I've done a video, but I thought I owed it to you all to get a video out before Christmas, so this is my attempt. A lot of things have been going on. You heard me saying in my last video, if you watched it, that my mom just recently passed away, so things have been kind of hectic trying to get into a new routine and just visit with family, and Christmas is right around the corner, so it's just been a little up in the air. So here I am though, I'm making another video. This is going to be kind of just like a two-part video. It's mainly going to be updating you on how my new snake is doing. Most of you know Nova, my ball python. She is now 4 months old, believe it or not, and she is doing great. You're going to see her here in a few minutes, and I'm going to just give you a regular update on her. And the second part of this video is going to be answering a question that I got, and that is to do with the humidity in her enclosure. So, welcome to the video. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is the humidity. I'll update you on Nova when I get her out here. But so humidity. Ball pythons need a humidity of anywhere between 60 to 70%. They do just fine in a little bit lower, like in the mid 50s. They're okay, but it is recommended to keep them in the 60s if you can. If it goes a little bit higher into the 70s, it's not a big worry, but 60s is perfect for these guys. So tips and tricks on how to keep your humidity up in your enclosure. So obviously this enclosure that I have for her is just a large fish tank right now. It's got a screen top on for the lid that clamps down, and that's her enclosure for now until I renovate this table into her enclosure. So most people, I'm gonna say, that have baby enclosures or whatever for their ball pythons are gonna have this type of a setup, or they're gonna be in a rack. I can't help you with a rack because I've never kept my snakes in racks. They've always been in large enclosures. So, don't know about racks. But for enclosures, I can help you there. So, this is my enclosure, and I'm going to pull it out now. So, give me a second to do that. This is going to be a complete video. I'm not clipping anything. I'm not taking anything out. This is just going to be very simple because I don't have time to edit it right now. So bear with me. We're going to move you over just a little bit here. It's not the most perfect thing, but it's going to work. Get my dog out of the frame. Alright, so with mine, I have to pull her out. She's on wheels. So there we go. She's pulled out. Take my little clips off. So for those that don't know, you can buy these little cage clips and they clip down your screen. So I have 4 of them on here because it's a fairly long enclosure. You're going to hear rattling. I'll explain that in a second. Okay. So, step 1 of keeping humidity in your enclosure. You can put tin foil on the top. So you can see here I have tin foil about halfway. So the half of it's screen. So the half that I have as the screen is where her heat lamp comes in. This half doesn't have anything, so I can cover it up. It takes away a little bit of the light in her enclosure, but it doesn't really matter. Light is mainly for us, not them. Just gonna put that down there so it's out of my way. Okay, there we go. So, tin foil. Tin foil traps the humidity so that it cannot escape out of the enclosure. So it doesn't work 100%, but it does help in the process of keeping the humidity in the enclosure. I have here a little hydrometer. So my hydrometer, it just dropped now because my humidity in my room is only 41%. So it dropped, but in the enclosure it was reading 52, which is a bit lower than what I like it. 52 is too low. So this is why I'm making this video, because I had to doctor my enclosure. So I want to get it into the 60s. So this is a little hydrometer. It's Govee, and it actually has an app that you can download on your phone, and then you can read the app outside your phone. So it's awesome that way. All right, so I'm going to kind of teach you a couple things on how to do that, but first we're going to get Nova out here. I have my bag, so we're going to put her in this bag so she's out of the way, and then I can doctor my enclosure. So let me get the baby. All right, so here is little Miss Nova. There she is. She's my little baby. She's doing great. As you can see, she has grown significantly. She's only shed once with me so far. I am literally expecting her to shed anytime again. I got her in September. She shed in October, and she hasn't shed with me yet, but she's been putting on a lot of weight. So I'm expecting her to shed again anytime. But that's her. She is literally puppy dog tame. Yeah, I was expecting when I got her to have to be like I did with my corn snakes and like hold her every day to every second day to tame her down so that she'd actually not strike at me or not like be all spaz case. I hold her maybe twice a week. Sometimes I only hold her just before I feed her, but I usually try and hold her twice a week, and she's like puppy dog tame. Like, there is no flight in this girl. There's no bite in this girl. She is beautiful. Absolutely love her. There's her little face. Try and get you a good view of her coloring. She's gorgeous. She's got a white belly. Checking herself out in the camera. That's a good shot of her. There you go. Yeah, so she is wonderful. She's eating like a champ. She has yet to refuse a meal with me. Loves her rats. And so I'm happy with that. If you've been following my channel for a little while, you would know that I just went through getting a baby yellowtail Caribou that wouldn't eat, and he ended up passing away, unfortunately. So when I got this girl, I was kind of paranoid. I was like, oh, please eat. And yeah, she eats like a champ. She has not yet missed a meal, so I'm happy there. So, she's doing great. Couldn't be more pleased. I haven't really taken her anywhere yet. I took her to my local pet store once since I got her. She was just down there with the owners and me, so there was like nobody else in the store. So it was pretty laid back, but it was like her first outing, so I didn't want to like stress her out or anything. So she was perfectly fine with that. She was crawling around everywhere and checking everything out and just being awesome. Nobody else has really held her yet besides me. I wanted to have that bonding period with her and to just let her get used to being handled by one person. I think pretty soon here I'm going to start letting my dad hold her. He's pretty used to snakes as well, so he kind of knows like to go slow and do all that. So I'm probably going to start doing that. And then probably once she hits about like maybe somewhere between the 8-month mark to a year old, that's when I'll start taking her out to different places and just trying to get her used to things. But yeah, she's doing great. That's my little baby there. All right. So we're going to put her in her little carrying case. Okay. She's in the case. Zip her in so she can't get out. We do not need an escapee. Okay. So she's zipped in. She's out of the way. She's good. It's going to set her over here so that I don't squish her. Okay. Okay, so back to the enclosure. Obviously she has a water dish in here. So the water in the dish will help give humidity as well. A tip that you can do with the water dish is to keep it on the hot end of the enclosure, because with the heat, it'll suck the moisture up into the enclosure, which will help with the humidity. The only downfall of that is, of course, the water goes down the water bowl a lot quicker, so you have to keep watching it to refill it. Second thing you can do is, of course, you've seen these before. I've had them on my channel. This is a humid hide. So inside here I have sphagnum moss, and you just use that with water. So I have a bucket of water over here, and I have just a measuring cup just to help me do the things. So you can just put a little bit of water in here. That. Soak it up with the moss. So just something that you want to keep in mind with the humid hides is that you don't want water laying in your bucket, and you don't want it wet enough so that when you squeeze the moss, water runs out of it. Both of that is not good. There we go. So you want to have it. My moss is all wet. Probably can't tell that on the camera, but when I squeeze it, there's no water dripping out of it, but it's damp to the touch. So that's how you want your moss. Okay, put your lid back on, so that's going to go back in there, but right now, it does make you all messy. You do get messy doing this. It's not going to hurt you. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all my stuff out of my enclosure. I will move my camera here in a second so you can see this. I'm removing all my stuff like that. It's a little tricky to get out. Log. Okay. So now, I'm figuring out how I'm going to do this. I need to figure out how to set you up so you can see inside of my enclosure. Oh goodness, this could be interesting. Okay, if I put you up here. Hi. And I angle you. Huh. Nope. Alrighty, hang on. I have idea number 2. Hi, Piper. Look out. My cat is totally in the way. Whoop. Okay. Let's try this. Yay! That worked. Okay, so now you can see the length of my enclosure. So I leave these bamboo sticks in because they don't bother me. But, okay. So essentially, my substrate that I have in here is a mixture between Eco Earth and cocoa chips. So, if I hold it up to the camera, this fine stuff like this is the Eco Earth, and these chunks are the cocoa chips. So it's just a mixture of both. So what you're gonna do with that is you're gonna take your water, and you're literally just gonna take your water and you're gonna pour it in. And you're gonna mix it. And you're gonna keep doing that until, just like the humid hide, your substrate is moist, but there's no water laying in the bottom. You do not want water laying in the bottom. That's bad. But you want all your substrate to be moist. Now, when I say all my substrate, I do have to say that where one of her hides sits down here on the warm end, I do not do down there. And that's just to give her a dry place to lay if she wants to. I like to give my snakes space to decide what they want to do. So just like we have a warm end and a cool end where she can decide how hot or cold she wants to be, I like to give her a moist end and a dry end so she can decide where she wants to be. Now, depending on your climate in your house, and just your climate in general, will be depending on how often you have to do this. My house, I have a humidifier in it, so the air is sitting at 50% humidity, and I have to do this about every week. If your air is sitting less than 50, you're probably going to have to do it more. If it's sitting at more than 50, you're going to have to do it less. So, just all depends. Okay, so now that my hand is all mucky and I don't want to touch my phone, this is going to be interesting because I want to see, hi, if you can see the difference between this. So this is wet. It's nice and damp. It's not dripping water, but it's nice and wet. Okay. On the other end, this from about here down that way, this is dry. So I haven't done anything with this. This is all just dry. And that's where she can get to be on the dry side, and then she can come down here if she needs a little bit more humidity, like when she is shedding. And I put the humid hide right under here, so it's like halfway down the enclosure. So then she can come into the humidity here as well. So I'm just going to kind of keep my camera in hand here as I put this back together to kind of show you what I do, which will be a good learning thing. So I have these two logs. The big long one I need to feed underneath the bamboo, which is sometimes interesting. And I have that sitting like that in there. Then I have the small, skinnier log, and I put that one down just along the edge. So the reason that it's good to put logs like this in, and I also have, if I can find it, right here, I also have this stone that I put in. I just kind of put that in there. But the reason that you have these is to help her shed. So everything else that you normally buy for snakes is smooth. These are smooth plastic. Her hides are smooth plastic. There's nothing rough on these hides that I put in here, like that. And like, oof, that. So there's nothing rough on these hides. There's nothing rough on her humid hide. There's nothing rough on her water bowl. It's completely smooth plastic. So there's nothing rough that she can rub against to help her shed. It's smooth sides and everything. So you want to give her something in here that she can brush up against, that she can hook, that's a rougher texture, like a stone or a log, like these knots and stuff, that she can hook her skin on to help her pull it off. So that's why I have those in there. All right, putting you back on here. Stay. Oh, you're crooked. Oh, this is so difficult. Nope. Okay, good enough. And then I have these plants in here, just fake vines, that I just kind of lay around. And that just gives her cover if she wants to slither underneath them. Snakes like to feel secure and like nobody can see them. And if they're not secure, sometimes they don't want to come out. So I just kind of wrap them up around so that she has something to climb under and just create a bit of clutter. I'm going to put my my hydrometer back in here where I can see it. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. It's just making sure that she has that water. I'm going to use my water here to kind of fill up her bowl while I'm in here. I've had people also ask me what kind of water I use to water her with, whether I get distilled water or what. I just use my regular tap water. My town is on RO water, reverse osmosis. Pretty much I go by the rule that if I feel safe drinking it, then my animals should be fine with it. So yeah, that's what I do there. All right. Now to add the little monkey back. Get her out of her bag. Hi, my girl. Come here, honey. Oof. So once more, there's the little monkey. She does not ball up anymore. She's too calm for that now, and she knows me too well for that. So she never balls up anymore. Which is good, but kind of sad too, because it's kind of cool when they ball up. So I'm just going to set her down in here and let her do what she wants to do. There you go. Normally she explores a bit when I first put her back in, and then she finds a hide and goes back in. But just for a good view, I'll bring you up here. So this is the wet, cool end. And then as we go this way, there's Nova. And this is the dry, hot end. And she's in there exploring. So obviously make sure that your hydrometer is in your wet end so that it's properly reading the humidity. Again, I have my water bowl in my hot side so that it helps with the humidity, as well as my humid hide I have on the hot side so that it doesn't get too cold in there for her, and so that, again, it helps with humidity. There she goes exploring. So, there you go. That's my video for this time. Nothing special, but I just kind of wanted to give you a little update before Christmas, and I figured why not answer the question on tips that I use to keep my enclosure a little bit more humid for her. It's been a struggle to keep her enclosure a little bit more humid just because my corn snakes don't require humidity. So I use aspen bedding with them, and I've never had to worry. My one corn snake, this little girl right here, Amber, who is watching me wondering what I'm doing, she sometimes has a little bit trouble shedding just because she's scaleless. And so I do add in a humid hide with her, and I notice that she's going to be shedding when she goes into blue. I just throw a humid hide in there for her, and she uses that every time and sheds fine every time. Eve, who I don't know if you can, but she's back in that log right there. She doesn't have any trouble shedding whatsoever, so I never have to worry about her. So I haven't really had, issues with having to keep everything humid. So this is my first snake that has required humidity. So I did a lot of research and talked to a lot of people, and this is what I came up with. And it's working good. I have to show you this. So this behavior, if you can see her head right here, she is up in the air looking around. This is called telescoping. And this is a thing that's relatively with ball pythons. They like to telescope, so they will literally their upper body off the floor, and then their heads will be curled like this, and they'll be looking around, and it's called telescoping. It's really cute. She does it all the time. Yeah, so that's my video. It wasn't too long, it wasn't too extravagant, but it's what I got for now. So I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I do try and post regularly on those, just pictures and short little videos. And I will hopefully be back with longer and better content after the new year. So Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year, and we'll see you soon. Bye.